What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to be doing the weekly recap of the stocked up trading floor. The market had quite the bearish week last week, especially on Friday, as the employment data came in a lot stronger and hotter than expected, which sent yields exploding to the upside. So there's definitely a lot going on in the market right now, and there's a lot to pay attention to in the short term. But with that being said, let's get right to this week's recap. Starting out with the high-risk scalps, I would say it was a pretty decent week. Of course, it was a holiday week, again, as it has been over the past 3 weeks, but there was definitely a lot of big movement in both directions. We could see on the 6th, MU, C, and SMCI had some pretty strong moves, but of course, there were definitely a handful of stocks that moved in a mediocre way, or just not with a ton of momentum either. As we scroll through the week, we could see on the 7th, there was also a decent amount of pretty strong movement, especially with some of these chip stocks to the downside, Nvidia being the biggest and strongest. But Meta and Palantir also had some decent sell-offs on that day as well. Of course, there were a fair amount of stocks that just moved up a little bit or didn't really move up that much, but that is worth keeping in mind. As we scroll throughout the week, we could see that we did see some stronger movement on the 8th when there was a lot of selling pressure with quantum stocks, ticker symbol ON, RGTI, IONQ, QUBT, QBTS, just other quantum stocks in general sold off quite a bit. I would say the 8th was definitely the best day for trading, not only because the big move we saw with quantum, but the lack of movement in other areas of the market. So the movement was very strong and very concentrated. As we go to the end of the week, we can see that there was, still good amount of movement. Apple, WBA, and Delta definitely had some of the biggest movement with, some other stocks like Amazon, Microsoft, AMD, Bank of America, Target, and others moving in a respectable way, which was good to see. Stocks like Robinhood, Meta, JP Morgan, and Google didn't really move that much, but overall, pretty decent week. Shifting over into the theta trade side of things, we could see that we had 5 plays that expired this week. 3 of them got assigned. So basically with short put options, you sell these puts, collect a premium, and then the only way to justify selling put options is being happy owning the shares of those companies at the strike prices that are selected to be sold at. So as we look at stocks like Celsius, CCJ, and SQ, all of these stocks are assigned now. So from this point, you could sell covered calls, hold the stock, do any sort of management position that aligns with your thesis, and so on. For the puts like WBA and GDX, these puts expired worthless for max profit, which was great to see. Selling put options is one of the best strategies out there when deployed correctly, and it is especially advantageous in situations where the market has sold off and is in recovery or chop mode. We're not exactly at that point now, but you can almost never go wrong selling put options, assuming that the stock is at a valuation that you're happy with and the premiums are, reasonable. So for that reason, as the market continues to get crazier and crazier and the environment changes, like we talked about this week at the live event, spread trading and using options in more flexible ways will become more and more advantageous as the year goes on, not only in a short-term trading tactical sense, but also into building longer positions like what short puts are, most oftenly used for. So basically, if you're someone who does not know how to trade spreads or short put options or, use options in ways besides their traditional sense or the most common sense, I should say, that is something that is worth looking into because it will open up a lot of opportunities, not only in the short term, but especially as the year goes on. If you need help with shorting put options or other spread trading in general, feel free to reach out to Tom Hunter or myself in the Discord, and we will definitely make sure you're taken care of. But besides that, thank you all so much for watching, and let's crush it in the market this week.